Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. Today, we're going to jump into another psychological discussion. Yes, I love to get in discussions between psychologists and people who are in the space of helping others with relationships because it's a huge business. It's a business that is growing significantly. Relationships these days are on life support. There are very few relationships happening. Childbirths are down. I mean, it's a serious problem. That's one of the reasons why channels such as this one is growing so fast, because people need help. And based on my experience, I kind of know what worked. I understand female nature. Not from an academic perspective, but what works on the street. For those of you that have been following me, you know my point of views quite well. Now, we're going to dive into this discussion between Sadia Khan and a gentleman by the name of Matthew Hussey, Hussey, I think his name is spelt. He's been around for a while. He has millions of subscribers, and he's written many books on relationships. And he tends to approach things from a sort of a holistic and, sweet perspective.
Did you tell me your name?
Yeah.
What was your name?
You forgot?
Maybe we should go for a beer and talk about it.
Sadia, on the other hand, she is on the ground as a trained psychologist who's talking to people, both males and females, on relationship issues, trying to help them. Now, Matthew have not been in the psychology department. I'm going to address large crowds of people, and he talks to individuals on a one-on-one basis, whereby Sadia is a clinical psychologist. She talks to people on a very deep personal level. So she sees both males and females as well. So she have a lot more serious life experience. And the reason I want to bring this to you is because I always advise you guys, don't take advice from female therapists, because they tend to lean very hard towards pleasing the woman. This is a beautiful thing that I'm seeing here, because in this respect, I find that the man, Matthew, in this particular discussion, he leans heavily towards females and the way they think, versus Sadia, a woman. She is very red pill when it comes to this part of relationships. It's a different way to understand that, hey, listen, I can't be straight down the line, don't go to females. We have to look at who's actually giving good information. And listen, I don't want to get too far into judging these individuals, because I want to give you my impression during the course of their discussion. I'm going to put the link to this video to Sadia's page so that you guys can check out the majority of the video, but I want to touch on a few key points in this particular discussion. All right, so my friends, give me a thumbs up on this message. Book a chat if you're interested in having a chat with me. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. So let's get into their conversation.
You're saying it's different if it's a man?
I wouldn't say it's totally different. I think the disrespect is there, but I think...
No, but you said if it's a woman she forgives him, or if it's a woman and she forgives him, it's fine and it can all work. But if a man forgives her,
I said it's difficult. I said it's very difficult. But I do think men can compartmentalize sex in a way women can't. Similarly, when we were talking about male cheats, you were very quick to say that the cheat is a problem. But when females cheat, it's an emotional need she was outsourcing, which seems to be forgivable.
I didn't say she wasn't wrong. I said it was wrong.
Only when I probed that.
In this day and age, I'm curious who you guys think cheats more. Mm-hmm. We've heard that both men and women cheat, but just women are better at hiding it.
Yeah.
And that men get caught easier, and women are just good at hiding it.
Is that true?
I mean, that's kind of the thing. It's like, both men and women, not everyone, but men and women do cheat. Mm-hmm. But women are less at getting caught, I guess. I don't know. They're smarter about it, or they're just, I don't know.
And they have more opportunities than the average man.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the average woman will have at least somebody will sleep with her. Like, she doesn't have to have that much going for her. She doesn't have to have a great job, and she doesn't have to have, a lot of charm and wit. She can jump on an app and it's a bit easier for her. Whereas for the average man, it's not as easy. So I think the opportunity is higher.
Interesting. Is that why? And guys, I guess, are hitting on women more than women are hitting on men, right?
So the temptation is a bit different there as well. But
what's the stats right now? Do we know if men are cheating more than women these days, or are women cheating more than
I would always argue that women don't admit admit that they're cheating as much. You know, there's almost a pride to men when they cheat and stuff like that. They're always a bit more open about it. I know some of my closest friends that have cheated.
Listen, when men cheat, men have to work hard to get a woman. It's part of the conquering process. So men have always sort of boasted about his conquests. He hunts for women. Whereas a woman, she just have to make herself available. It's much easier for a woman to cheat because she don't really have to work hard at it at all. That's just one of the points that they're going to make in this particular video. But there's certain things that she didn't really cover because she's moving quite fast. The simplicity of it is if I walk out in the street and say, hey, free D, anyone wants free D? Anyone? Anyone? I'll get locked up. But a woman can go out there and flash her tits, show her ass and twerk, throwing themselves at her. There is absolutely no comparison between the sexes when it comes to who is able to get more sex freely. A woman's job isn't to throw it out. Her job is to preserve it. That's what she should do. The man, on the other hand, he should work hard to build himself to make himself more attractive to that woman. There are rarely any cases of a woman graping a man, but we see the reverse, because it's much harder for men to get it than it is for women to get it.
That have cheated. Even to me, while I've been in the process, they'll pretend they haven't cheated. So there's a part of them that denies cheating. But
Is that men or women?
Women. Yeah, women. Even
But then
my
later
female,
they'll
but
admit
I've
to
been
it.
in the process. They're like, no, but that time we weren't really together. Or that time we weren't together. And so, but there was a simultaneous connection. But what I would say is, I don't know who cheats more or who cheats less. But I think when women cheat, there is it's more definitive, as in that it's harder for them to come backwards from cheating.
Come on, man. Guys, just use your common sense. What do you mean you don't know who cheats more? Women cheat every single time they post a photo online. Every single time they have a bikini shot. Every single time they boast or they pretend like they're at an event. Hey, look at me doing this. Hey, look at me doing that. They're cheating. What they're doing is that they're advertising themselves. Oh, I'm just showing what I'm doing on social media. No, bullshit. My wife don't do that. No, my daughters don't do that. Their accounts are completely private. They do not advertise themselves to the whole world. And the majority of posts that they do post is to show their family back home or in various parts of the world that we have family. A lot of the times it's just to retain memories. But it's not there for public consumption. There is no boasting photos. It's just a respectable photo showing that, hey, this is where I was. It's almost like a diary. So if your woman is out there showing off, hey, look at me. Oh, today I went this. That is marketing herself. They will try to disguise it, but that is cheating. It's covert cheating. Making yourself available.
And I don't know if you guys would agree. I tend to give the advice to men that when your woman cheats on you, it's very difficult to forgive her. I wouldn't recommend it. I highly don't recommend it.
Men shouldn't forgive
Men
her?
shouldn't forgive.
Why not?
With women, I think there's room for flexibility depending on the causes.
Oh, this is going to get a lot of. It's going to get a lot of comments.
With
Okay,
men,
why should men not forgive the women they're with who cheat on them?
Because for a woman to cheat on you, it's not that she's fallen in love with another man. She's just definitely not in love with you.
Ooh, man,
and
that's
so
gonna
for
hurt.
you to take her back is just providing her free accommodation until she meets a man she wants to fall in love with. And I would, like a lot of men think, oh no, women are so emotionally attached to sex. No. Some women can literally have an affair with a local PT who doesn't care about her and she doesn't really care about him. It's what's the driving force is not the love for the guy that she's cheating on. It's the lack of love and respect for the man she's cheating on.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so when you forgive her and retry with the relationship, she's already decided she doesn't really want to be with you, but she will stay in this until she finds someone that will love
So
her.
if a man cheats on a woman that he's in a committed relationship with, is it also saying he doesn't respect and love her?
I think it's not so much a matter of love isn't so much the component, it's more of a lack of respect. It's more of a lack of respect and a lack of fear of losing the relationship or whatever it is.
We in this space understand this very well, and he will love her for that. Woman, you have to love and respect her, but she puts much more emphasis on the love. There is a much more likelihood that you will share your resources with someone you love, not necessarily respect. So she has to ensure that those resources are properly protected. And I'm not just talking about monetary, but she's also very careful about you not sharing your resources with anyone else. If you have enough resources to spread around, she don't care. Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, just a few names. Elon Musk, Genghis Khan. These are all men that have a tremendous amount of resources that she don't mind him giving a little bit away, but she will stay with him because she respects him. She respects what he can accomplish. She respects what he has accomplished, and she respects the fact that he is at the top of the food chain. Simple. She don't have to love him. He has to love her.
I mean, I can't speak for men, but a lot of them can say that they can compartmentalize. They can still really want their relationship to work. They can still really, this is all illusionary, but this is what they say. They want their relationship to work. They love their wife very deeply. They want all of that, but they are just outsourcing the sex because it might be lacking, or it's not the way they like it, or they're outsourcing a feeling. In my experience with women, when they cheat, it's not so much that there's something they're craving outside. It's just there's something in the house that they're just not happy with, and as a result, they will cheat. And I've been in situations where I've had clients come on the phone or a video call, and I've switched on my screen and I've looked at the couple and I would say, I can tell she's cheating.
No way.
Without saying a word. They haven't said a word to me. And I remember the last couple I did this with, and I looked and I thought, she's having an affair, but I'm not going to say anything.
You said it publicly? Or?
After a comment. And I said, what brings you here? And she started with, we have a great relationship. We're very good. Everything is good. We just don't love each other anymore. And I said, can you be honest with me? Are you having an affair? And she said, well, recently, and it transpired that she has having an affair. And I said, I can tell by your lack of connection to your husband, your lack of love. Most people, when they come on a therapy call, he was all suited and booted, ready for this call, like, save my marriage. Oh. She was literally just like, oh God, do we have to do this? Like, the disconnect that was there was no coming back from him. It's a lack of love and respect for the man she's cheating on.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so when you forgive her and retry with the relationship, she's already decided she doesn't really want to be with you, but she will stay in this until she finds someone that will love her.
So if a man cheats on a woman that he's in a committed relationship with, is it also saying he doesn't respect and love her?
I think it's not so much a matter of love isn't so much the component, it's more of a lack of respect. They can still really want their relationship to work. They can still really, this is all illusionary, but this is what they say. They want their relationship to work. They love their wife very deeply. They want all of that, but they are just outsourcing the sex because it might be lacking, or it's not the way they like it, or they're outsourcing a feeling. In my experience with women, when they cheat, it's not so much that there's something they're craving outside. It's just there's something in the house that they're just not happy with, and as a result, they will cheat. And I've been in situations where I've had clients come on the phone or a video call, and I've switched on my screen and I've looked at the couple and I would say, I can tell she's cheating.
No way.
Without saying a word. They haven't said a word to me. And I remember the last couple I did this with, and I looked and I thought, she's having an affair, but I'm not going to say anything.
You said it publicly? Or?
After a comment. And I said, what brings you here? And she started with, we have a great relationship. We're very good. Everything is good. We just don't love each other anymore. And I said, can you be honest with me? Are you having an affair? And she said, well, recently, and it transpired that she has having an affair. And I said, I can tell by your lack of connection to your husband, your lack of love. Most people, when they come on a therapy call, he was all suited and booted, ready for this call, like, save my marriage. Oh. She was literally just like, oh God, do we have to do this? Like, the disconnect that was there was no coming back from him. There was literally from her energy. It looked like she was held like by the throat to be there. Oh, and that's such a common theme when a woman cheats. It seems to be like, I'm not actually in love with you anymore, but I'll make it work because the guy, I haven't got as many alternatives. So what I say to men is, firstly, not only is she not in love, the second thing is it ignites something in a man that's not good for him. And the main thing it ignites is a feeling of inadequacy, sexual inadequacy and masculinity, but it can lead to physical abuse when it comes to a man. That anger and rage, some men will use that anger and rage to just leave and go work on themselves. Other men will use that anger and rage to control and to abuse. Women do this too. I'm not saying when women find a man who's cheating, they don't get abusive. It's just the damage that can come from a man being domestically violent is something that they're both wrong, but it's something that I wouldn't risk. So that's
I'm gonna have Matthew reply to this in a second. But do you think a relationship can truly repair and heal after someone has cheated, or do you think it
Not
would
when a
depend-
woman cheats.
When a woman cheats, you think it's a lot harder, or you just don't think it's possible?
I have never seen a woman who have cheated once and never did it again. I have never seen a guy who have forgiven his wife and she not do it again. I've never seen it. And I've spoken to many, many, many women. We get this impression, once a cheater, always a cheater, you know. Once she cheats once. The reality of it is that women, once you break a man, it's no repairing him in her eyes unless he really gets massively dominant. And that is borderlining abuse. So I get what she's saying. To get your manhood back, he almost have to teach her a lesson, so to speak. Men are caught between a rock and a hard place, whereby, hey, if she cheats, she's now disrespected you. You can clearly see she's disrespectful. So you're going to live in this pain forever, or you get out. Those are your only two choices. So I understand perfectly well what she's talking about. Let me know, guys, if you've seen this as well. I know a lot of you older folks on here. You guys can tell me if you've seen what I've seen.
Every time a man forgives a woman cheating, she eventually leaves him for forgiving her.
Really?
Yeah.
Why
She
is that? It's just because
eventually-
of lack of self-respect? Is it a lack of...
She understands now that there is no boundaries to this relationship. Most women are under the impression that a man would leave. Men tend to think that women can be a bit softer and emotional and they can kind of convince them. Most women tend to assume men will leave because that's what they tell each other. Oh, I would never put up with it. I would never put up with it. So when she learns he's willing to accept the unacceptable, she now realizes unacceptable behavior will run with him. And therefore, there is no motivator to prevent it happening again. So I've always seen, again, I have to preface this, I see worst case scenarios, but I've always seen it become a repeat offender. I'm not saying men don't do it the same way, but I'm just saying in my experience I've seen when women cheat, you're simply waiting for her to leave you now.
So maybe you could stay in a relationship, but it's just not going to be a healthy, committed relationship. There might be more
I think one thing
breakdowns.
men underestimate is how loyal we are to the person we believe gives us the most sexual satisfaction. There are
Is this
women, yeah, we are.
Say that again? What was
Women are incredibly loyal to the man that gives us the most sexual satisfaction.
Really?
When she get hit by an alpha, that's all she's saying. Once that alpha hits it, that's it. There's no coming back from that. She's not using the red pill words. She's not red pill. She's just telling you facts on the ground. But that's what she's saying. Once a woman has been alpha widowed, there's no coming back from that. That's all she's saying.
Financial security or safety or providing status?
A lot of the time they can be. I'm not saying all of the time, but a lot of the time they can be. I know women who will wait for a man who's in jail simply because, not because he's the best, but she's all he knows. Since she's been with him, she hasn't touched another human being. So that's all she knows. And women that are like that, they're not as curious. That's all he knows.
Once a woman been alphaed, she will stay loyal to that alpha right to the end. And any man tries to get in there, he's going to have a hard time getting her loyalty. That's the problem.
But when she's got that curiosity and she opens herself up to being pleased by other people, it becomes difficult to revert back to monogamy.
Really?
Yeah, it becomes very
I
difficult.
can be pleased by someone else as well, or maybe it's better or
It can be
different.
man or woman. It could be man or woman. When you open that door up for her to unlock that part of her to somebody else, it becomes difficult to reverse.
What she's talking about is alpha widowed. Someone who's been alpha widowed.
Women are incredibly loyal to the man that gives us the most sexual satisfaction.
Really? Over like financial security or safety or providing status?
A lot of the time they can be. I'm not saying all of the time, but a lot of the time they can be. I know women who will wait for a man who's in jail simply because, not because he's the best, but she's all he knows. Since she's been with him, she hasn't touched another human being. So that's all she knows. And women that are like that, they're not as curious. That's all he knows. But when she's got that curiosity and she opens herself up to being pleased by other people, it becomes difficult to revert back to monogamy.
A man is only as faithful as his choices. That's it. Simple. Don't get me wrong. A man can get himself busy in doing other things. Focus on building business. Focus on his other purposes. That's why it's important, gentlemen, especially if you're a high-valued, high testosterone guy. Try to focus your energy in other things, especially when you are in a committed relationship. Otherwise, my friend, you're going to stray. And ladies, if you have a high testosterone man, a high valued man, you better know how to please him sexually, because this is a man that's running at a separate, different level in all aspects of his life. So that's all I'm saying. A man can be faithful if he doesn't have any choices, or a man can be faithful if he has choices, but he focuses his energy somewhere else. That's it.
I don't know how definite it is, because it would have to come to a real understanding. He loses his family, but but for women, it's just the potential of domestic violence that comes with it as well. I just think it's better to just let her go rather than hold her and then have so much rage, and either rage towards her or rage towards yourself. Either way, it's not good. And I know that sounds too definitive and too negative, but in the original, when I first started my practice, I used to take a lot of my inspiration from Esther Perel, where she was like, you can rebuild, have those conversations. What I noticed is the rebuilding is just buying time,
For the inevitable.
For the inevitable.
Like maybe it lasts another 4 to 8 years, maybe.
50 years ago when there weren't dating apps, it might kind of undo itself. In this day and age, when there's so many alternatives combined with almost what they see as permission, it means delaying the divorce.
Come on, guys. This woman just hit all facts right there. There's a significant difference between this lady here and Dr. Bryant and Nick Cannon that I did a couple days ago. This woman here is switched on. All right, let's hear what Matthew has to say. Now understand that Matthew has a massive female following. Just want you to know, he takes a very gentle approach.
Why do, with the women that you work with, and I know women cheat that come to your retreats, or they're trying to like heal and fix their broken heart and all these different things, repair from being cheated on, all these different things.
Retreats, fix their broken heart. See what I'm talking about?
Why do you think women cheat, or the ones that have communicated why they cheated? What's the main reason women cheat in a long-term relationship? And can a relationship repair after cheating occurs?
All right, Matthew, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I struggle immensely with the kind of way that this is being framed. The kind of Sadia, the talk about, women cheat because they don't respect their man, which I think even that is so many people cheat because they are craving an emotional connection that they're not getting inside their relationship. I mean, how many women are with men that are never present, who don't show up for them, who, are workaholic, obsessed with their business.
He immediately went to victimizing the man. It's the man's fault. Gentlemen, do you understand what I'm talking about now? Anytime these therapists start to actually blame the victim, you know you have the wrong bloody therapist, okay? He never touched on the woman who's actually cheated. Oh, maybe the husband did something wrong. Anyway, I'm going to give him a chance. Let him talk.
Obsessed with something else. And then all of a sudden they find that they develop an emotional connection with someone on the outside that maybe started innocently enough, but, that emotional connection turned into something more. I don't, it's a very male picture in some ways you're painting of women, this idea that they are essentially just, it comes from a place of essentially disrespect and contempt for their man, and it's just a bit of sex on the side. Maybe there's some of those, but it feels like we're missing a giant archetype there, which is the woman who is craving connection. And
emotional connection?
Yeah, emotional connection.
But then
and that's the precursor to a physical connection.
So would you say the fault lies in the man not meeting her needs, or in the cheater herself?
I don't know that I think of it that way. Well, I think
because
she's obviously transgressing in terms of the boundaries of the relationship, and that's wrong, and that's on either side to not have that conversation that, hey, I'm not getting my needs met, can we talk about this? Or even, hey, I'm having feelings for someone, I need to talk about this because I don't want it to go to a place I can't come back from. So that of course that's wrong.
Caucasian Derek Jackson.
I'm more just suggesting that I think the scope of why people cheat is a lot wider than, you know, I don't respect my husband, and so I'm just going to go and do this. I struggle with this idea that women are, once they've cheated, they just can't look at their man the same way again. And that they've just now fundamentally lost something.
Do you think they can look at the man with love and respect and
I think they
admiration?
can look at him the same way, but not if he forgives her.
Well, but this is...
That's actually what I think is
what's
the
really interesting
problem,
about
yeah.
that, Sadia, is it's a kind of... It's a real kind of almost prejudice against women and their capacity for kindness. It was almost the same as saying that women are just inherently more cruel than men.
But I'm saying that with the preface that they've already cheated, which
women
is a
have
lack
cheated.
of kindness.
No, I
which is a
hear
lack
you.
of
I know
kindness.
that. I get the
so
scenario.
it's a skewed. It's not,
This is where I get so frustrated with this man, right? Once again, he's going to try to pedestalize women, put them in this angelic position where all feminists want to be, because women have to portray this ideal, this beautiful, this sweetness about them. Sadia is pulling back the curtains on females. She's a damn female herself. She's pulling back the curtains and saying, hey, this is how we are. Yeah, we're like this. And this man who's trying to sell his books, trying to keep that following as tight as possible, he's going to try to close the curtain back. I cannot believe that he believes this shit himself. Not this guy that this good looking got his shit together. I am sure he got a lot of women throwing themselves at him. Yeah, I don't buy it, man.
skewed. It's not women.
What you're
it's
saying is
cheating
men are
women.
capable of kindness, compassion, and future connection with someone that forgives them. But women are not capable of such kindness.
I would argue it's not that they're not capable of such kindness, but we're talking about a market of women who already demonstrated a lack of kindness through the cheating. So in that subgroup, absolutely, they're
But
lacking
no,
kindness.
I hear you. We're talking just about people who have cheated.
Yeah.
But to kind of other women in that way, where it's like a woman is incapable of having the ability to go, oh my God, I have really
Made a mistake or something.
fucked up here. I have hurt the person that I love, who loves me. I've hurt this person that I've made a vow to, that I'm in this relationship with, who didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with them. That's on me. And that
Which world is he living in? Women never take accountability for the crap that they do. I just don't understand that this is somebody that's supposed to be giving advice to males and females. Women do not take accountability. Sadia recognizes that. She knows that if the man forgives her, she knows that she can get away with the ultimate thing that you can do to a man. It doesn't get any worse than that. What is worse than actually cheating on your husband? Besides getting pregnant by another man. And that's one of the consequences of cheating on your husband. That's why men hate it so much. And this man is trying to deny that of a man. I don't understand where his head is at, man. Women do not take accountability for what they've done. They will justify it away. And if she can justify it away once, she can do it again and again and again. And the man becomes a laughing stock. Men, when they do it, it's usually just to blow a load. Women produce way too many hormones whenever she has sex with another man. And if she was a hoe in the past, she could never be a housewife. In other words, it's going to be next to impossible for her to be monogamous.
kind enough, if they have the space in their heart to forgive me, I'm going to honor that.
Yeah.
The idea that that's impossible to me suggests that you feel like women are somehow missing a compassion gene
It's
that men
not. It's not
men
that they're
have.
missing a compassion gene. They're looking for protectiveness in a way that men don't look for in women.
I think that's incredibly reductive.
But what
I find that really reductive.
but
The
what I
idea that what
find-
women are the only thing women really care about is it. And what does protect mean exactly?
A protectiveness is like a biological. If we take it in an evolutionary sense, a protectiveness would be, from an alpha perspective, in an evolutionary terms, it would be a man that protects his kin from cuckoldry. It protects his children being born from somebody else, essentially, paternal uncertainty. Now, from a primitive perspective, we look for men who not only can gather resources, but can also prevent paternal uncertainty. Now, when he's missing that fundamental, like he's not bothered about paternal uncertainty, it's not that
But he is bothered. Let's say he's brokenhearted. He's like, oh my God, I'm crushed. You're saying she would have had respect for him had he shown up at the apartment as she was about to have sex with the guy and beat him up.
No,
but given that she already did on the side and she came back, the fact that he missed the moment and he's now crushed and hurt, that's him not protecting her?
Here's the thing. Masculinity is not about availability and consistency. Masculinity is about knowing when to walk away as well from a female perspective. There are endless women who have men that message, double text, triple text. What puts them off in that moment is not his kindness and compassion. It's his unwillingness to walk away when he's being disrespected.
But you are framing forgiveness as the antithesis of masculinity.
But you are framing forgiveness as acceptance.
Man, this is a beautiful discussion. You see, this man wants the guy to be the nice guy and forgive her. What do we know happens to nice guys? This woman identifies that once a woman gets that nice guy attitude, she's out of there. She'll hang around until something better comes along, but she's not going to be there for long. That wife is gone, my friend. You have to do the right thing and get rid of her. It's a cold, hard fact, gentlemen. She cheats once, it's not going to be the end. So many men on paternity court, on all of these other podcasts who have said, listen, my wife cheated. I have had to take care of kids I thought were mine. They were not mine. I forgave her. I'm going to listen 2 more minutes, then I'm going to wrap it up. Because Sadia said something very important here.
Forgiveness is saying, this relationship means more to me than my pride or my ego.
Oh.
I love you. I want to make this work. And I'm going to be a big enough man to make this work in spite of this. And that makes him the bigger person. It doesn't make him emasculate. It doesn't. He's not. You're framing forgiveness as he's emasculated himself by forgiving her, and she can never get over that moment of him emasculating himself.
I believe that very, very strongly, and the reason being is that the relationship should mean loads to you, but part of you should understand for her to do this, we don't see the relationship in the same light. Your inability to understand the importance of reciprocity is what makes you less masculine. It's not a case of forgive me all day, every day. But for me to step out on you means that this relationship means something different in your eyes than it does in my eyes.
But you're saying it's different if it's a man.
I wouldn't say it's totally different. I think the disrespect is there, but I think
but you said if it's a woman, she forgives him.
Oh, man. Listen, this is an awesome discussion. Guys, I'm going to cut it there because I want to be fair to Sadia and these guys so that you can go over there and watch and support them as well. It's a very good discussion. It just shows you the difference between how 2 different therapists. I don't know if he's a therapist. I don't know how you would classify him. He's a relationship guru. But the point is, you might get a female therapist like her who understands the reality of the world. They're rare, very rare. Sadia is a rare breed, but she understands true nature of woman. The reality of it is, gentlemen, a woman don't respect nice guys. You got to be ruthless and cut her off. She cheats once, that's it. It's not going to get any better. You cry yourself to sleep silently, but get her out of your life. All right, my friends, listen. Give me a thumbs up on this message. Go over to these guys' site and watch the rest of the video. All right? Let's have a discussion. Let me know your thoughts. And of course, remember, whenever in doubt, gentlemen, ladies, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.